Hello everybody from Plant Reviews UK. Today is the 5th of May and I'm talking today about one of the most beautiful bulbs I have in my garden, and it is Camassia leichtlinii. This is a plant, actually one second, I show you from a little bit from afar. You can see this plant is actually, you can see the bright blue flowers in the center of the video. This plant is actually one of the tallest bulbs I have blooming in spring. Indeed, it can reach about 120 centimeters tall, that is about 4 foot tall. This plant, Camassia leichtlinii, is also known by the common name of Great Camas or Large Camas, and is a perennial plant in the family Asparagaceae, subfamily Agavoideae. So it's a kind of relative of the agave as well as the tuberose. The Camassia leichtlinii is native to western North America, where it's distributed from British Columbia in Canada to California in the USA. So it has a quite wide range where this plant is native. The inflorescence is a spike, as you can see, of flowers that are star-shaped, and in particular this form, that is the most common form, has bright blue flowers. However, the intensity of the blue in the flowers can vary in different individuals of the plants. The leaves are strap-shaped, and these are actually the leaves of the plant. You can see they kind of resemble a really big kind of a big version of the bluebells or the Pollinates tuberosa. This plant is a distant relative of the bluebells and of the hyacinths, and is a closer relative of the tuberose, Pollinates tuberosa. Sorry, Pollinates tuberosa was the old name that is now known as Agave amica. And you can see these strap-like leaves that comes from a rosette at the base of the bulb, while the flower stem is basically leafless, and the nice thing of this plant is that the flowers, as you can see, the flower spike stands very well above the foliage, so there's no foliage to cover the flowers. This plant, the Camassia leichtlinii, sometimes is mistaken with the more common Camassia Quamash, that is, the Quamash. That is a smaller plant. Usually it is about half the size to 2/3 of the size of the Camassia leichtlinii. However, Camassia leichtlinii has different color forms, and you can see here a bee that is pollinating the flowers. I almost forgot to say that this is one of the flowers that really is one of the best plants for pollinators. This is one of the nice features of this plant. About the color of this plant, this comes in several shades of blue. This in particular is quite intense blue, the one that I have in the garden. However, there is also of Camassia leichtlinii a form that has creamy yellow flowers, and actually the form with creamy yellow flowers is a subspecies of Camassia leichtlinii, and incredibly, even if it's a pretty rare form, this one is actually the nominal subspecies, because it was the first type, the first form of Camassia leichtlinii to be described. Therefore, the variety that is not a variety is a subspecies with creamy yellow flowers is Camassia leichtlinii, subspecies leichtlinii. This one with blue flowers is the Camassia leichtlinii, subspecies suksdorfii. However, when you by Camassia leichtlinii, you usually buy the most common form, that is the blue form. So on the trade is just described as Camassia leichtlinii, even if the extended name is Camassia leichtlinii subspecies suksdorfii. In the species suksdorfii, however, this variety with this subspecies with the blue flowers, in addition to have different forms with different shades of blue, there is also one that has pure white flowers. Also, there is a kind of double flowered form that is called form semiplane. This Camassia, like also the Quamash, Camassia Quamash, has edible bulbs. I obviously don't invite you to buy the bulb, to eat the bulbs that you buy in the garden centers, because these might have been treated with medicine, with antibiotics, or with anyway pesticides, treatments that are not allowed for bulbs or for anyway plants for human consumption. However, when found in the wild, this plant has actually bulbs that are edible, and actually the Native Americans in what is now the USA and Canada were using the bulbs of the Camassia leichtlinii, the Great Camas, as well as the Quamash, the other species, as a very important food source. Traditionally, the bulbs, however, to be made edible, they need to be cooked for a long time, so they were either boiled or baked in fire pits for at least 3 hours, but more commonly between 1 and 3 days. The genus name of these plants comes actually from the word that one of these Native American tribes that used the Quamash, the Quamash, yeah, and the Great Camas as a food source, was calling these species, and this tribe was the Nez Perce tribe, and was calling these kind of plants, both the Great Camas and the Quamash, with the term of Camas, that means sweet. This is the word is due to the fact that the bulbs, when cooked and eaten, are actually sweet. I found that the flavor is very similar to the sweet potatoes, but actually even sweeter. In addition to being an important food source for many Native American tribes, the bulbs of the Quamash and of the Great Camas were actually a very good food source in the Lewis and Clark expedition. That was an expedition to discover other areas of North America to be added to what was then the USA, the first the first countries of the USA. In addition, obviously, to the Lewis and Clark expedition, the Native American tribes that were using the bulbs of these plants as food staples were the Nez Perce tribes, as well as the Cree and the Blackfoot tribes. In the UK, anyway, the species Camassia leichtlinii is used as ornamental, not as a food source. It is a bulb that grows very well in well-drained soil, but this needs to be kept moist during the active growth of the plant, that is in spring. The bulbs can be bought in autumn. This is actually not a rare bulb to find at all. Both the Camassia leichtlinii and the Camassia Quamash are actually very easily found in garden centers, as well as online. The ideal exposure of this plant is full sun, but can take partial shade. And about the propagation, this is a plant that multiplies quite easily. both through bulb offsets, so you can divide the bulbs, but also by seed. So the ideal period to divide the bulbs, as usual, is when the bulbs go dormant, so in summer. The bulbs need to be planted with the point upwards and about 8 to 10 centimeters deep, and again in well-drained soil and ideally in full sun. It is a plant very hardy in most temperate and also pretty cold climate. Obviously, this comes the range of this plant goes up to British Columbia in Canada, and this is hardy to in USDA zones 3 to 8, and therefore throughout the United Kingdom. As you can see in my border, I planted it in the in a border that has sun for most of the day, and it is a plant that I put at the back border, and the reason is because obviously after flowering the flowers fade and the leaves will wither. However, when the leaves will wither, they will be hidden by the raspberry that is growing around, as well as by the Acacia quinata, this climber that is actually edible. At the moment is producing also very nice purple small flowers. I actually should do a video about the Acacia quinata very soon. So this is definitely the position I would recommend you to plant the bulbs in. So they're ideal for a border mid to yeah, from the middle part to the back part of the border, because actually this bulb gives obviously the plant coming from these bulbs grow quite tall, again can grow up to 4 foot 120 centimeters tall, and definitely it is better to keep it with other plants around in order for the wind not to move it too much and risking to break the beautiful flower stems. Again, so about the fragrance, unfortunately this plant is almost non-fragrant, so it is a kind of fragrance of freshly cut grass, but very light, so definitely it's not a plant I can recommend for fragrance. But you can see how beautiful are the flowers with these 6 tepals that give to the flower this starry shape, as well as the center of the flower, the ovary and the anthers are greenish yellow, and really they offer a great contrast against the rest of the flower. Also, the blooming period of this plant is quite extended. It produces several flowers per stem. It started flowering a couple of weeks ago, and you can see that considering how tall are the flower spike, the flowers will last at least for another week or another week and a half. It is an absolutely gorgeous plant to add to the garden, as well as for not only for ornamental purposes, but obviously if you love pollinators and you want to offer a food source for bees and bumblebees, this is definitely a plant I can recommend you. As usual, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, would be great if you can please give it a thumbs up, and if you like this video and other videos on my channel, would be great if you can please subscribe. It is completely free for you, but in this way you help me to promote my channel on the YouTube platform, and in turn YouTube can then support me, and in this way I can make more videos about my plants and my garden. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.